Hello, Miss Mazur's class. Since we finished Christmas in Camelot yesterday, we're going to read one of my weird school books, Deck the Halls. We're off the walls. And here is the first picture. Chapter 1. The Best Christmas Vacation. My name is AJ, and I hate it when a song gets stuck in my head. Does that ever happen to you? You hear a song a couple of times and learn the words without even trying. Then you find yourself singing it all the time. You sing it while you're walking to school. You sing it while you're taking a bath. You can't stop singing it no matter where you are. I hate when that happens. Ever since Thanksgiving, they've been playing this rap song on the radio over and over. I can't get it out of my head. The song is by this kid who isn't much older than me. His name is Johnny Cray, but his rap name is Crazy. My sister loves him. Every girl in the world loves him. The song is called The Christmas Klepto. It's about this mean guy who steals toys. It starts like this. 'Twas the night before Christmas, you know all the rest. Stuff was all over, the house was a mess. I was dreaming of a Christmas white. It was a totally silent night. That's when I heard a crash and a boom, so I ran right down to the living room. There was this guy all dressed in black, and over his shoulder he carried a sack. I took one look at him and said, "Whoa, man, I know you're not Frosty the Snowman." "Who are you?" I asked after a pause. "You sure don't look like Santa Claus." He said, "The name's Klepto. I'm from the South Pole. I'll grab your presents. That's how I roll." Oh, on Christmas Eve, I go around the world and steal all the presents from the boys and the girls. Ugh. That song is the worst part about Christmas, and now it's stuck in my head forever. Do you know what the best part about Christmas? No school for 9 whole days. And that's right. No homework, no reading, writing, math, or social studies. No teachers. Yippee! 9 days. Do you know how long 9 days is? I figured it out on my calculator. 9 days is the same as 216 hours. 216 hours is the same as 12,960 minutes. 12,960 minutes is the same as 777,600 seconds. That's a long time. For 777,600 seconds, I don't have to see Andrea Young. This annoying girl in my class with curly brown hair. I'm going to enjoy every one of those seconds. This is going to be the greatest Christmas vacation of my life. Chapter 2. I was eating breakfast when the greatest Christmas vacation of my life got even greater. Mom was sitting at the table reading her newspaper when I saw on the back page. Santa Claus is coming to town. I leaned forward so I could read the small letters. They said that Santa was going to be at our local shopping mall on Saturday, just before Christmas. All my dreams had come true. If you ask me, Santa Claus is the greatest man in the history of the world. Anybody who gives toys to kids should get the Nobel Prize. But I figure Santa will never get the Nobel Prize because that prize they give out to people who don't have bells. And if there's one thing Santa has, plenty of bells. Can you take me to the mall on Saturday? I asked my mom. Please, 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 please. Dad and I need to clean out the garage on Saturday, said Mom. You can clean the garage out anytime, Mom, I told her. Santa is only going to be at the mall on Saturday. If I don't go, I'll never get to see him for the rest of my life. Sorry, AJ, not this Saturday. But I need to buy a present for Amy, I begged. My sister Amy is 3 years older than me. She's annoying, but I have to get her a present anyways. No, Mom said. No means no. Begging usually worked for me. I would have to try something else. If at first you don't succeed, try again. That's what my parents always say. You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. It was time to put Plan B in effect. I started crying. If you want something really bad, and the situation is hopeless, there's only one thing to do: cry. That's the first rule of being a kid. I peeked to see if my mom was watching me cry. AJ, she said, those are crocodile tears. What do crocodiles have to do with anything? Come on, Mom, I pleaded. I've been waiting to meet Santa Claus my whole life. Mom put down her paper and looked at me. She had a serious look on her face. Your father and I have been meaning to tell you something for a while now, AJ, she said. It's about Santa Claus. We think it's time that you knew that Santa... But she didn't get a chance to finish her sentence because the phone rang. I picked it up. It was my friend Ryan, who will eat anything, even stuff that's not food. Santa is coming to the mall, Ryan shouted into the phone. I know, I shouted back. Do you think it's the real Santa? I mean, how could he visit every mall in the world? He's not visiting every mall in the world, Ryan told me. He's just visiting our mall. That's why we have to be there. Are you in? My mom said she would drive us. Spread the word. I hung up and called my friends Michael, Neil, and Alexia to tell them the big news about Santa. I want to go, said Michael, who never ties his shoes. I want to go, said Neil, who we call the new kid, even though he wears clothes. I want to go, said Alexia, who rides a skateboard all the time. In case you were wondering, everyone was saying they wanted to go. I looked at my mom with my best puppy dog eyes. If you ever want something really badly, look at your parents with puppy dog eyes. That's the first rule of being a kid. Please, I asked. Ryan's mom said she'd drive us to the mall. You don't even have to go. You buy a present for your sister while you're there, Mom asked. Of course. Okay, you can go. Yippee! Chapter 3, A Christmas Miracle. I had to wait 100 million hours for Saturday to arrive. Wednesday, it felt like it was 2 days long. Thursday must have been 3 days long. And Friday took at least a week. I thought I was going to die of old age. But finally, it was Saturday. My mom made me wear the dorky red and green Christmas sweater that my aunt knitted for me last year. Ugh, it's itchy. Do I have to wear this? I asked. Yes, Mom replied. You want to look your best in front of Santa. I don't want to look like a dork in front of Santa, I said. You look handsome, AJ. Then I came downstairs. My sister Amy was watching TV in the living room. Nice sweater, dork, she told me. I didn't care what Amy said. It would be worth it to wear a dorky, itchy sweater if I could see Santa Claus live and in person. I sat in the window for 1,100,000 minutes, waiting for my ride. Finally, Ryan's minivan pulled up. I think it's called a minivan because it was invented by some lady named Minnie. Ryan, Michael, Neil, and Alexia were outside. They were all wearing their itchy Christmas sweaters. "Nice sweaters, dork," I said as I climbed in. A lot of people had decorated their front yards for Christmas. We drove past giant inflatable snowmen, candy canes, Santas, sleighs, and lots of reindeer. It was beautiful. Ryan's mom started to sing "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas," and we all joined in. That's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. It started to snow. Well, that may not be that amazing to you, but we live in California, and it hardly ever snows. "It's snowing," we all marveled as we pressed our noses against the windows. It was a Christmas miracle. Chapter 4, Crazy is in the house. When we got to the mall, the parking lot was jammed. Ryan's mom circled around trying to find a spot. "Everybody must be here to see Santa," she said. "I wonder where he parked his sleigh," Michael said, looking around. "Santa doesn't park his sleigh in a parking lot, dumbhead," said Neil, the new kid. "That would be crazy." "Where do you think he parked it?" asked Alexia. "On the roof, of course," said Neil. Right next to the mall entrance was a big bus. On the side of the bus, in big red letters, it said, "Christmas Wrappin' with Crazy." "Crazy is here," shouted Alexia. "That must be his tour bus." "Crazy?" asked Ryan's mom. "Who's Crazy?" Ryan's mom is really old, so she doesn't know anything. We had to tell her that Crazy is this kid rapper, and his song, "The Christmas Klepto," is on the radio all the time. "Do you like his music?" Ryan's mom asked. "Ugh, no," said Ryan. "That kid is horrible," said Michael. "I call him Justin Timberfake," said Neil. We all said how much we couldn't stand Crazy's music. I didn't tell anyone that Crazy's dumb song had been stuck in my head all week. Suddenly, a bunch of girls came running out of the mall. They surrounded the bus. "We love Crazy," they were shouting. "Marry me, Crazy." Those girls were screaming and crying and fainting all over the place. What's their problem? "Girls are weird," said Alexia, who is technically a girl, but likes cool boy stuff anyways. Finally, Ryan's mom found a parking space. We had to walk 100 million miles to get to the entrance of the mall. "Wow," we all said, which is mom upside down. When we walked through the door, everything was Christmassy. There were candy canes, wreaths, colored lights, jingle bells, huge paper snowflakes all over the place. "Meet Santa today," said a banner on the wall. I could hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer playing big Christmas ornaments, where big Christmas ornaments were hanging from the upper levels of the mall. Zillions of people were walking around. There was electricity in the air. Well, not really. If there was electricity in the air, we would get electrocuted. "You're big kids now," Ryan's mom told us as she took a cell phone out of her pocketbook. "I'm going to do some Christmas shopping. We can stay in touch by phone." She gave Ryan the cell phone and told him to put it in his pocket. Cell phones are cool. My mom said I could get one when I'm in high school. "We'll meet at the food court in 2 hours," Ryan's mom told us. "I need you kids to stay together and be careful. Don't get into any trouble. Do you hear me?" "Us get in trouble?" I asked. What could possibly happen? Asked Alexia. We never get in trouble, said Michael. Ryan's mom looked at us with those crazy grown-up eyes that make it seem like she's drilling an invisible hole in your head. Then she left. The mall is big. Right in the middle is a ginormous Christmas tree that almost reaches the ceiling. How they got that tree in the mall, I'll never know. We walked all over the place looking for Santa. I'm glad Andrea and Emily aren't here, said Alexia. They're so annoying. Hey, I have an idea. Let's use Ryan's cell phone and make a prank call to Andrea's house. Everybody agreed that that was a genius idea, so I should make the call. Ryan speed dialed the number for Andrea's house. Hello, somebody answered. I wasn't sure if it was Andrea or her mother. I would like to order a large pepperoni pizza, I said. You must have the wrong number. This is not a pizza parlor. The gang was cracking me up. It was definitely Andrea's mother on the phone. Do you have ravioli? I asked. No. How about spaghetti? No, Andrea's mother said. Wait a minute. Is this AJ? Are you calling for Andrea? She's not home. She's at the... I didn't hear the end of the sentence, because that's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. Okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter. So nanny, nanny, boo-boo. Chapter 5, True Love. Hi, Arlo. It was Andrea. She was the only person in the world who calls me by my real name. I must have jumped 3 feet in the air. Little Miss Perfect was with her crybaby friend Emily. They were carrying a bunch of packages. What are you doing here? I asked Andrea. Buying yourself a new encyclopedia because your old one is worn out? Very funny, said Andrea. Emily and I bought toys for homeless girls and boys. That's right, said Emily, who always agrees with anything Andrea says. We want to bring peace and harmony to kids all over the world. Oh, yeah? Well, we came to meet Santa Claus, Alexia said. Ooh, Andrea said, all excited. We want to meet Santa, too. Can we come with you? We'll have to talk it over, I said. The gang and I moved off to the side and huddled up like football players. What do you think? Said Neil. Should we let him hang out with us? I say no. I don't want to walk around with Andrea all day. Ooh, AJ doesn't want to walk with Andrea, said Ryan. They must be in love. Wait a minute, I yelled. I told you that I didn't want to walk with Andrea. Why are you saying I'm in love with her? AJ, everybody knows you love Andrea. It's totally obvious that you only say you didn't want to walk with her to hide the fact that you're in love with her. Okay, I said. In that case, it's okay with me if Andrea walks with us. Ooh, AJ wants to walk with Andrea, said Ryan. They must be in love. Wait a minute, that's not fair, I shouted. So it doesn't matter what I say. I'm in love with Andrea whether I want to walk with her or not. Ooh, AJ just admitted he's in love with Andrea, said Alexia. When are you guys going to get married, said Neil. If these kids weren't my best friend, I would hate them. Chapter 6. Waiting in line stinks. Andrea said she knew where Santa was, and she led us to the other side of the mall. Finally, we found the end of the line of people waiting to meet Santa. There must have been 1,100,000 kids there. I could see the sign in a distance that said Santa's Workshop, but Santa Claus was too far away. He was in a special roped-off area. We should sneak up to the front of the line, I whispered. That would be wrong, Arlo, Andrea said. These kids got here before we did. I was going to sneak up anyway, but a big arm came down in front of my face. I looked up. You'll never believe whose arm it was. Officer Spence, our school security guard. He was standing on a Segway. Those things are cool. Officer Spence, I said, what are you doing here? Making sure everyone waits in line, he told me, and making a little extra money over the holidays. How long will we have to wait in line, Ryan asked. About an hour, Officer Spence said. An hour? We could die from old age while we're waiting, I said. An hour is like forever, said Michael. Andrea rolled her eyes. Boys should learn to be patient, she said. I wasn't sure if it was worth it to wait in line for an hour. I thought that maybe we should just forget about meeting Santa Claus. But that's when I heard these magic words. Santa is giving out candy, some kid said. Santa is giving out candy? Said some other kid. Santa is giving out candy, said another kid. In case you're wondering, everyone was saying that Santa was giving out candy. And if there's one thing that I love almost as much as Santa, it's candy. All the candy I got on Halloween was gone. So we decided to stay in line. But waiting in line is boring. To kill the time, I practiced what I was going to say when I got to Santa. I want the new Stryker Smith Commando action figure with missile launcher, voice activator, attack dog, and deluxe blowtorch. Other accessories sold separately. Batteries not included. Stryker Smith is a superhero from the future who travels through time and fights all who dare to thwart his destiny. He can turn into a jet plane when you push a button on his stomach. His armor suit is tough enough to withstand a nuclear blast. He's a one-man wrecking machine, ready to take on any evil to save the world. 2 Christmases ago, I got my first Stryker Smith action figure. Then, on the school bus, I tied a string to Stryker's leg and lowered him out the window so he could fight bad guys who were attacking the bus. Stryker fell under the bus and got decapitated. That's a fancy way of saying his head came off. We had a funeral for his head. I got a new Stryker last Christmas, but he met his untimely death when his head got tragically melted in a battle with an evil magnifying glass. So now I wanted to get a new Stryker, the one that comes with a blowtorch. It's cool. Most of the other kids in line were little. They didn't even look like they were in first grade yet. Man, I thought, those kids can't even read. They don't know what 2 + 2 equals. They don't know anything. It's hard to believe that I was that dumb just a few years ago. Standing still is the most boring thing in the history of the world. What a snooze fest. The line inched forward a little. I could almost see Santa. I bet he's not the real Santa, I told Alexia. It's just some guy in a Santa suit. The little kid in front of me heard that and turned around. He was holding his mother's hand, and he looked like he was going to cry. He must have been waiting for a long time already. If these kids didn't get to meet Santa soon, they're going to freak out. A group of grown-ups strolled by the line singing Christmas carols. Somebody else walked by with a real reindeer. There were more reindeer in the petting zoo. Where do you think they got the reindeer? Michael asked. From Rent a Reindeer, I told him. You can rent anything. Some lady came by asking kids if they wanted to write a letter to Santa, and have it delivered to the North Pole. That was a dumb idea. Santa was right here at the mall. Why would I want to send him a letter all the way to the North Pole? When are we going to get there? Asked Ryan. Waiting in line stinks. You boys are annoying, Andrea said. Why don't you go take a walk? Emily and I will hold our places in line. She didn't have to ask us twice. We got out of there. Chapter 7. A Present for My Sister. Let's go to the candy castle, Ryan shouted as soon as we got out of the line. Let's go to Cinnabon, shouted Michael. Let's get ice cream, said Neil. Let's go to the skateboard shop, said Alexia. Malls are cool. There's so much stuff to see and do, especially around Christmas time. Our mall even has a train in it. We ran over to the train. It goes around and around in circles on metal tracks. At the ticket booth was an elf with a funny hat and pointy ears, like on Star Wars. The elf turned around and you never believe who it was. Mrs. Cormel, our bus driver. Mrs. Cormel, I shouted, what are you doing here? Bingaloo, she said, I'm running the train and earning a little extra money over the holidays. Aren't you a little tall to be an elf, said Alexia. Elves come in all sizes, Miss Cormel told us. All aboard! Toot toot! The train ride looked lame, so we didn't get on it. Andrew, any train that needs an elf to toot for it must be really lame. We ran over to the escalators. Escalators are cooler than trains. You don't need tickets to ride them. My friend Billy, who lives around the corner, told me that if you run down and up escalator for 10 seconds and up and an up escalator for 10 seconds, you travel back in time. That works with revolving doors too. Neil said he had to go to the bathroom, so we went off to the men's room and waited for him to finish. That's when I remembered that my mom gave me money to buy a present for my sister. I didn't know what to get her. What do you get for an annoying sister? You're a girl, I asked Alexia. What do you think my sister would like? Perfume, jewelries? Why don't you get her a new skateboard, suggested Alexia. That's what I want. A skateboard? My sister doesn't even know how to ride a skateboard, I told Alexia. Why would she want that? No, that's a great idea, AJ, said Ryan. Buy your sister a skateboard. Then when she doesn't use it, the skateboard is yours. That's genius, I said. Alexia and Ryan should be in the Gifted and Talented program. Neil came out of the bathroom. We were about to go over to the skateboard shop to buy my sister's present when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. It started with a noise, a high-pitched screech. At first it was far away, but then it got louder and louder. There was the thunder of feet. They were getting closer and closer. And then there was a screaming. When we saw a bunch of girls running in our direction, there must have been 500 of them. Eek, one of them screamed. I think I see Crazy. I love Crazy. Crazy was running right at us. He was being chased by a thundering herd of screaming girls. In here, I yelled at him, follow me. Ryan, Michael, Neil, and Alexia formed a human wall to stop the girls. I hustled Crazy into the men's bathroom. He was gasping for breath. I thought he was going to die. Put his hand on my shoulder and looked at me. You gotta help me, dude, he said. Those girls are nuts. plenty of crazy to go around. The famous crazy was standing right next to me, live and in person. I can't take it anymore, Crazy, he moaned. They're going to tear me apart. I need somewhere to hide. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast, so I did. The first thing that came to my mind. I took off my pants. Quick, I said to Crazy. Let's switch clothes. They'll never know the difference. Good idea, Crazy said, taking off his pants. I tore off my itchy Christmas sweater and gave it to Crazy. He tore off his clothes and gave them to me. I put on his clothes, he put on mine. I looked pretty sharp with his hat and sunglasses. It was hilarious. Do I look like you? I asked him. Yeah, he said. Do I look like you? Yeah, I said. You chill in here for a while. I'll take care of your fans for you. I pulled the hat down low over my head, strolled out of the men's room, and gave a big wave to the girls. They started screaming and pulling out cameras to take my picture. Look at him. That's Crazy. I love you. Can I have your autograph? Those girls were totally buying it. They really thought I was crazy. Sure, you can have my autograph, I said. The girls started sticking pens and paper in my face. I wrote Crazy as fast as my hand would move. One at a time, girls, I said cheerfully, one at a time. There's plenty of crazy to go around. Eek, he touched my hair, a little girl screamed. I'll never wash this hand again. After they got my autograph, the girls were fainting and crying and freaking out all over the place. They didn't know that I was just a regular kid. They had no idea that the real Crazy was hiding in the bathroom. It was cool to be a famous celebrity. This was going to be the greatest day of my life. But you'll never believe who rolled over on a Segway at that moment. It was Officer Spence, the mall security guard. Uh-oh, the jig is up. I figured I was in big trouble. I'm sorry, Mr. Z, said Officer Spence, but it's time. Time for what? I asked. Time for you to sing. Huh? What? Me? I stammered. Nobody told me. Hurry up, Officer Spence said. They're all waiting for you. Who all? Where? Officer Spence grabbed my hand and pulled me up on the Segway. We rolled over to a stage that had been set up near the corner of the mall. There were 4 musicians on the stage wearing Santa hats. Get up there, yelled Officer Spence. I climbed up on the stage. Yo, Z, said the guitar player. You the man. The girls started screaming. I looked out at the sea of faces. Some of these fans were younger than me. Some of them were older than me. A few of them looked like my grandmother. That was weird. I gave a little wave and they all started freaking out like they'd never seen a guy wave before. A guy in a jacket and tie climbed onto the stage and picked up the microphone. Okay, boys and girls, he said. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Here's the latest pop sensation to sing Christmas Klepto, his new hit song. Crazy! The girls screamed even louder. The musicians started playing that annoying song. I had no choice. I grabbed the mic and I started rapping. Okay, we will continue this tomorrow.